Hello, good evening, and welcome back. Surprise, 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 multiculturalism is a failure. And we're not going to go over the coronavirus because that's all much of a muchness, but more updates to come. Essentially, if you feel so inclined and can, then do self-isolate. If you're concerned for your health, then obviously don't go out and mix with people. If you want to go out to see nature instead, then actually be at one with the world and have a more relaxing environment, then go do that. And if you would rather just stay home and you can actually continue to do work from there, then please do so. If you're on a zero contract or you're more manual labour, then you can't really do that. And you have to try and push through it unless your employer allows you to have sick pay, especially to cover the coronavirus. Then go ahead and do that. But today we're not covering the coronavirus, it is instead the Westminster knifeman shot dead by police who was named as Hassan. Yahya. What a surprise. This is the same old story with new characters, except the thing I want to focus on here is the use of tasers. Obviously, they're not allowed for use by the public at the moment. So the main one I use for encouraging gun ownership in countries and encouraging it to be legal is rape. For example, when a man tries to rape a woman and she does not have a firearm in America, he is successful 42% of the time, so a little less than half. But when she does have a firearm, he is successful 0.09% of the time, so less than a percent. Less than 1 in 100. The difference is about 0.09%. So the difference is about 500 times. It is substantial. It is the evening of the playing field. So some people might say, well, okay, what if the female would have a taser? I think guns are barbaric and are used to kill people, and that is the only use. Even if you look at the FBI statistics, that they're used defensively about 1.5 million times. At the lower end is 300,000, but there are only 30,000 deaths in America, so that's each year, 20,000 of which are suicides. So guns are only used to kill people is a bullshit argument, but nonetheless, they might say, oh, but tasers are okay. So okay. So instead of saying the only way to stop a bad man with a gun is a good man with a gun, what about saying to stop a bad man with a knife is a good man with a taser? Is that the case? Well, no, it isn't. Given that they say that Hassan Yahya, 30, was carrying 2 knives and said to be acting suspiciously before he died on Sunday night. The Independent Office for Police Conduct, IPC, said he has thought over a gun over Hungerford Bridge and into Northumberland Avenue. 3 tasers were fired before Mr. Yahya was shot by City of London police. Yes, the tasers are so ineffective that there were 3 of them before one gunman could stop him. Which is ridiculous as far as I'm concerned. Yes, you tase someone, they're stopped for a few seconds and most likely very annoyed. At that point, your taser is out. It takes too long to recharge and you've probably thrown it by then. So, no, you don't really have a chance. In which case, the guns are where they're at. And that's much safer, and if you know everybody is armed, then you're less likely to shoot people, which is why 98% of mass shootings in America, 98% of them, happen in so-called gun-free zones, because they know people aren't going to be able to defend themselves. It is pretty much cut and dry, but you've got to have people taking care of themselves, because you've got to think, well, hey, the issues are underlying socio-economic issues, and that's what the government should be sorting out instead of just giving guns for the symptoms. So, well, is that actually the government's role? No, it isn't. Are they helping out by allowing women to marry the state and taking care of their children through single-mother households? No, they're not. Would it help if the government step back a bit? Yes, it would. So is that your answer? Yes, of course it is. The government should fuck off and allow people to actually defend themselves. And then you wouldn't have these rape problems either if guys were actually able to defend themselves and defend their children, their daughters, their wives, their girlfriends, their cousins, their families, whoever it might be. You would not have such a big problem. It's very, very simple. So the armed officers had been responding to an emergency call, but police have said the incident was not terror related. So, okay, it's not terror related, it's just Islam related. close in the name. And you might be thinking, yeah, but hey, Wasp, how can you blame Islam on somebody's name? So what if they're not Islamic? It's like, okay, cool. So they come from an Islamic country, and if they leave Islam, then the penalty for apostasy, as in leaving the religion, is death, as in they would be killed by their other members. So, no, I'm pretty sure they're Islamic, and I'm going to stick to it. And, of course, if they don't give the Takir, which is the tax for not being a Muslim, then they're going against Muhammad, who is, well, not Muhammad, but Allah, because he had revelations given to him by Allah, of course. So it's very difficult to actually pin down what was happening, seeing as they're contradictory. And he would decide something and then rethink and say, hey, this has just come from Allah and it's different to what I've said, so we should go by that instead. Basically, he would shy away from confrontation by saying, oh, God said it, so it must be right. But other than being a shit human and clearly not a prophet, he would encourage this sort of behaviour, and that's what these people believe, even though he contradicts his own capability of being a prophet within the Quran and not just the Hadiths. And go into Act 17 apologetics of being cut at the jugular if you want to hear about how he explains how he can't be a prophet. So they say, following the shooting, investigators said 2 Ministry of Defence police officers who were on patrol were told a man was acting suspiciously near Royal Festival Hall on London's South Bank. He failed to stop, and after they fired a taser, they radioed for backup, warning he was carrying knives. So yeah, they fired a taser. Oh, he wasn't stopping. A second taser was fired by Met police officers in Northumberland Avenue, and a third taser was fired before the victim was shot dead by a City of London officer after 2 armed response vehicles arrived on the scene. 2 knives were recovered from Great Scotland Yard, a road that connects Whitehall and Northumberland Avenue near Trafalgar Square. It is mandatory for the IPC to carry out an independent investigation where the police fatally shoot a member of the public. So, good, and of course that should definitely be the case, because you don't want people just shooting people willy-nilly. There should definitely be an investigation. That's very good. No doubt about it, and well done for doing the right thing. But it is a shame that these tasers are so inefficient. It seems that you would have to increase the electrical discharge capacity or capability of tasers if you actually want to stop somebody from moving, but at that point you risk it becoming more lethal, especially if they have a pre-existing heart condition. So that's where guns again come into their own, and they help the most vulnerable people the most. I'm getting too passionate, I've got hiccups, I apologise. So there's where the answer would be, and hopefully this proves as a little insight into the ineffectiveness of tasers and why guns are so much better for protecting the most vulnerable people. They are the great equalizer after all, and we should be encouraging people to be able to defend themselves, because police take too long to respond. Even police responding to police, you get 3 taser shots before the armed guards respond. So, hey, until next time, stay safe, stay clean, stay coronavirus free, and maybe we'll cover that again next time. But hey, if you're my financial advice, which you should think about yourself, is just short the FTSE 100 or the Dow Jones on whatever trading platform you believe in, and won't take money from you once you start making money. Just use it to short the stocks, because we're going to be in this for the long haul and the economy is going to collapse. So if you want to make money, start shorting. And until next time, have a good one.